players exchanging a few friendly words prior to tip-off, the getting-to-know-you stage of the proceedings. We are in Salt Lake City, Utah, where the Jazz are looking to take one from an Eastern Conference opponent here at the Energy Solutions Arena. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Butler?
He's an irritant, Kevin. He's a pest. I mean, he never stops talking. He harasses opponents. Constant thorn in the side of whoever he's starting.
He's not much fun to match up with just because of that annoyance factor. You've got to be willing to give as good as you take with him.
The Bulls are in the midst of a road trip going into this one. They've definitely started the season right with a hot start.
Checking out Chicago, they've actually taken the NBA by storm since the season kicked off. They put themselves right in the mix with the league's top teams when most people thought they'd be bottom feeders.
And I know it's early, Clark, but the way they've looked, I think they'll be in that mix all the way to the end.
You know, in one of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
Rejected by Evans, but they get it back. Rose dishes to Noah. Whoops, they pick off the pass. Hayward with the ball, and Rose picks him up defensively. Hayward passes to Jefferson. Favors kicks to Jefferson. 6 to shoot. Here's Garrett, guarded by Heinrich. That is good. Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things, and have a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injuries. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
Here's Garrett after Carlos Boozer's score. The dish to Garrett. Goes back up, and it's good on the layup.
The offensive execution really well done. They got the ball in tight for a high percentage shot.
For Chicago, they won their last contest that game against the Clippers in Los Angeles.
It was an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it was on the road. No question, by the way, that it was their offense that carried them.
Steve, I love the way they attacked at every opportunity. They never were on their heels, and eventually that allowed them to pull away. You know, Joakim Noah, part of those back-to-back championship teams at Florida, 2006 and 7, was kind of skinny in college in his first years in the league. But he's done a really good job of adding muscle to his frame. That work in the weight room and in his basement have served him well.
Now let's go over to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Tyrone Corbin.
He said a big key for them will be containing Carlos Boozer offensively, adding, he's a player who can spread the floor with his jump shot or take you down the block, and it's tough to match his strength inside. Defensively, they'll look to keep length in front of him and limit his offensive rebounding. Sounds like a good game plan, guys. We'll see how they do it.
Thank you, Doris. And with the big minutes that Joakim Noah is asked to play, it's a good thing he's been so dedicated to staying in shape.
He's another player, Kevin, who does yoga in the offseason. He's even trained with big wave surfers in Hawaii, going underwater with weights in his hands, doing jumping and running. Pretty interesting training regimen, but of course, he's a very interesting guy.
Pretty wild, huh? Last outing for Utah, it was a loss to the Thunder in Oklahoma City.
And you don't need to dig too deep into the box score to figure out why they lost the game. I mean, their shooting percentage was abysmal.
You know, sometimes we talk about the defense getting into the heads of the opposing players, but it seemed that night they got in their own heads, couldn't get out of their own way as they lost confidence at the offensive end.
Here's Garrett after the made shot from Butler. Here is Hayward. He's coming off a 16-point game against Oklahoma City. And Jefferson gets it to go. Now Rose. Out to the right wing. Now here's Heinrich. D right on him. And there's the call on Jefferson. That is his first foul of the game. Now here's Rose. He's guarded by Garrett. Rose dishes to Heinrich. Just 5 on the clock. Back to Rose. 18 feet out. And it comes off the front of the rim. Utah trailing here. Here's Hayward. Here's Favors. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And the defense looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Yeah, I like that. A foul to save the layup. Make him earn it at the line.
The Jazz shooting their first free throws here tonight.
And over the course of the season, guys, they've shot a very respectable 78% from the line.
And that's a little better than they did last year from the free throw line.
That free throw, no good.
Well, you always hear about how loud this Jazz crowd is at home, and trust me, it is loud. They are a big part of why the Jazz have been so tough at home for so long, but the personnel of the Jazz has had something to do with that as well.
The Jazz making a switch here. Brooks is checked in.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
Well, he should stay with those basics in a tight ball game because we've got one here tonight.
Here's Evans. The Bulls getting the bucket. Out left to the wing. Now here's Burks, defended by Butler. Another miss by Utah. Chicago leading by 4. Heinrich passes to Butler. Now here's Noah. He picked up 18 points in their last win against the Clippers in Los Angeles.
And his rebounding in that game, Kevin, just tremendous. He owned the boards.
And as you said, the Jazz very tough at home as always, Clark, and 30 wins for them in this building last season, which usually, Steve, is enough to get you into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat. 30 home wins and you don't get in. Just shows you how difficult and how tough the Western Conference was.
And the Jazz with possession here. They trail by 6. Victory eluded them last time in Chicago when they faced the Bulls.
Yeah, it was a big loss. Pretty much pure domination. And I thought the key was the rebounding total. I mean, it was ugly. They were completely dominated on the glass. That's going to have to improve tonight.
Here's Rose after the made shot from Garrett. Rose kicks it to Noah. And out of bounds as Utah gains possession. All over the course of the last 10 games, these big men have been the NBA's best at the charity stripe. Well, you look at Favors, 4th in the league, and as consistent as they come at the free throw line.
I want to check you on that now. Not all big guys struggle at the stripe, Steve. I mean, I know you're a little fella, but there are some excellent free throw shooting big men around. None more so than the group here.
Burks can't get it to go. Steve said it. They were atrocious on the glass when they last met. What do they need to do, Clark, to change that in this game?
Well, a couple of things. One, they need more bodies in the paint. I mean, you got to have more bodies in the paint. Then you've got to be ready to box out. They left 1 or 2 guys on an island down there, and you can't do that. That's not going to work.
And Rose throws it down.
Well, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, you know, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
Jazz trail by 6. Here's Garrett. He's got 6. Here's Burks. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
Yeah, me too, Clark. I think anytime you have success pounding the ball inside, you've got to continue to go to the well.
Now here's Rose. He picked up 18 points in their last win against the Clippers in Los Angeles. Open shot. Butler tried to bank it in, but he misses.
Well, that's a warm-up jumper there. I mean, when you're a pro, you can't make excuses for missing that one.
The offensive rebound. And it's Evans missing.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim.
And there's Noah on the assist by Rose. 6 points for Joakim Noah.
Another good pass, and their offensive execution has been impressive, to say the least.
The last 4 field goals have been assisted. Yeah, passing has kept the defense off balance, but to get assists, you got to make the shots.
Burks can't get it to go.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking. Well, guys, Alec Burks out of Colorado is an athletic slasher with a nice tight handle. He was taken 12th overall back in 2011, still young and developing, and I think he has tremendous upside.
4 on the shot clock. So he gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. And for Alec Burks, it took him a while to get into the rotation with the Utah Jazz, but the injuries they dealt with provided him with an opportunity later in the season.
Well, he's always been a very athletic guard, and he showed some improvement last year on his long-range shot. I think that's been the biggest weakness for him, but if he can hit that shot consistently, he's going to be tough to keep off the floor.
Lucas kicks to Cantor. Back to Lucas. Rebound by Butler. The Bulls leading by 8. And it's Rose penetrating, cashes in for a double-digit lead. Rose has got his second bucket tonight.
Well, he's very strong inside, particularly as a finisher. So even if you give him a hard foul, hard contact, nothing seems to bother him. And this guy, as a result, is a good scorer.
Exactly. That's about the only way to stop him once he's making a run at the hoop.
The shot by Thomas. Gets a very good look and converts.
Sensational pass. Even in mid-shot, he still saw the open man.
For Chicago, they've gone 8 of 14 from the field in the first quarter. Rose dishes to Gordon. Butler with the ball, and Burks picks him up defensively. Boozer passes to Rose. Back to Boozer. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. And it's 8 points for Carlos Boozer.
I don't know what's happening to their defense. I mean, they don't have any effort, any purpose.
And it's really costing them. I mean, the last 5 baskets at that end have been on very easy looks.
Now, here's Thomas. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Yeah, the referee's all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there.
The Jazz shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. Both free throws good from Lucas. There's 21 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And here's Rose, averaging 19 points per contest. And there's the pass to Gibson. Gordon outside, and he gets it to go. Gordon's got his first 3 points of the game.
They've built a big lead here early.
Both defensively and offensively. They've been terrific right from the tip.
And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. Bulls lead by 11. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City.
Next Sunday, December 1st, Paul George and the Indiana Pacers take on Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers. It's East and West. Do not miss it.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
The other thing we've seen right from the start, guys, is their willingness to drive the lane, get penetration, and challenge this defense.
Enes Kanter is out there with Jefferson. Then it's Rush. Then it's John Lucas. And it's Gobert in at the center, locking down the middle. That's the group for Utah getting going here in the second. Now here's Butler. He had 13 points in the win against the Clippers.
Guys, how about the Bulls being able to nab the 5th seed in the East last season, in large part due to how they were able to play on the road. Of course, when you play tough, solid defense like they do, it makes it easier to be competitive and string together road wins.
Andres Biedrins is checked in for Enes Kanter. And for the Bulls, defense is one of the few things in the NBA that can neutralize a home court advantage. And Steve, a big part of why they had the success they had on the road.
Yeah, they went 21-20 away from the United Center, and one of only 5 teams in the entire East who managed to stay above 500 away from home. That's a real tribute to this team and the coaching staff.
And both free throws good for Jefferson.
You know, Utah usually matches up well with Eastern Conference teams because style of play is similar. Both Eastern Conference and the Jazz like to play a grinded-out physical game, and Utah has the bigs and the defensive mentality to thrive in a slower-paced game, and that's why they went 17-13 against the Eastern Conference.
Now let's send it to Doris on the sideline.
Gentlemen, in a lot of ways, Joakim Noah is the heart of this Bulls team. Coach Tom Thibodeau said, quote, he's an all-star, and I can see him winning Defensive Player of the Year. But the most important thing is he plays to win. He can have 5 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks, and he's happy because we won. Guys, Derrick Rose said it best. He's a warrior, and everybody is following him.
Thanks, Doris. He's such a character, so passionate about his defensive role. On back to the Jazz against the East. Did what they needed to do against the conference as a whole, winning more than they lost, but they also, Steve, had some key setbacks.
And the big one that I can remember was last year where they had that 4-game road trip to the East Coast. They went 0-4, and that was when they saw their grasp on a playoff spot start to slip away.
Now here's Lucas after the miss from Gibson, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will take it. Well, every team needs rebounding. Let's check out the league's top rebounders. Number 1 is Joakim Noah.
And guys, I think his rebounding has taken a lot of pressure off of his teammates and really frees them up to contribute in other ways.
Here is Heinrich. They lead by 11, the largest margin of the game. Outside Gordon. Pass to Buck. Puts it up from 15. Here's Gibson. And he lays it straight in. Gibson's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but in the rebounding department too, Clark.
Yeah, it's been a really gritty performance. They'll have some bruises to show for it, but that's the way it should be. You should feel that you've competed when you do that work inside.
And the Jazz making a change here. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, guys, Tom Thibodeau had some advice for his team in that last timeout. He told his guys that they needed to be much more patient at the offensive end. They're wasting possessions, he said, with bad shot selection. Guys, they're clearly hoping those changes have an effect even before this game makes it to halftime. Kevin?
Always great to hear from you, Doris. That doesn't go either for Gordon.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Another miss by Utah.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
Butler on the way. Gibson inside. Bulls moving the ball around. That's good. That's 10 points for Joakim Noah. Here in the second quarter, about 3 minutes played. Here's Garrett. 6 points for him. He dishes it to Hayward. Shot to stop the drought, and he gets it to go.
You know, offensively, he's just one of those guys that needs a touch of space to get his shot up. That's all. And if he runs his man off a screen or somehow finds an opening, that's it. He's going to let that thing go.
And he's a great three-point shooter, too, especially when he lets it go from one of those corners. He doesn't miss many of those.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the 3-ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a three-point battle like this.
And Garrett kicks to Hayward. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
And that's why teams emphasize the use of screens and picks, just to get you some open looks like that one.
Now here's Heinrich, defended by Garrett. Butler attacking. Noah dishes to Butler. That is good. Butler's got 5 points now in the quarter.
No way you can get back into the game if you continue to give up layups.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
Here's Heinrich. After Richard Jefferson's basket, Heinrich passes to Gordon. It's tipped for the Jazz. Derek Favors checked in for Biedrich. Thomas comes in for Jeremy Evans, and Alec Burks subbed in for Jefferson. Heinrich from outside, and the Bulls get it back. Here's Gibson. Some solid defense there from Favors. Jazz trail by 13. Favors with the screen. Garrett with the bucket. Garrett's got 8 points. And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, other family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. You just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
Kyle Korver, who's checked in for the Bulls. Rose comes in for Kirk Heinrich.
Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
Utah calls timeout.
Well, really a promising young roster for the Utah Jazz team, guys. A lot of blue chip talent there. I think in a couple of years, this team has a chance to be one of the best in the West.
Noah against Favors. It's hauled in by the Bulls. And you got to give this Utah front office a lot of credit. You're right, Clark. They've only missed the playoffs 5 times in the last 30 seasons. Steve, that is a remarkable run.
What I like about Utah, too, Kevin, is that they seem to stay ahead of the curve. They make moves while they still have leverage. Dealing Carlos Boozer, Kirilenko, Deron Williams. So they've done a good job of getting value, getting assets, and continuing to look ahead. Well, great focus at the free throw line. They're taking care of business.
That's exactly how you keep on the lead. 100% free throwing for the quarter, that'll do it. Well, they really started to come on here in the second.
Playing much better here, guys, and it looks like they're starting to make up some ground. We'll see if that can continue.
Now here's Rose. Passes to Gibson. And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here.
And with a quick chance here, let's take a look now at some of the numbers for Gordon Hayward. He's putting up 17 points a game, just over 2 steals and 4 assists. Tell you what, he's been scary good over that run of games, just taking his usual brand of stellar offense and even building on it.
And Steve, you know that's not easy to do considering the high level he already plays at on an everyday basis. To move the needle another notch higher is special.
And Favors kicks to Garrett. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist. Garrett's got 10 points.
And they're making a statement here, guys, going inside for 8 of their last 10 points.
Time to man up on D and stop these free runs to the rim.
And it's Rose missing.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, he's an extremely strong finisher. I'm surprised he wasn't able to power that through the defense.
The shot by Thomas. And Utah again with the bucket.
Well, they've finally gotten into a rhythm offensively this quarter, and if they keep shooting like this, they won't be down for long.
Well, Steve, you can see them looking to cut that lead down little by little to turn things around, and that's how you got to do it. How do you eat a big pizza? One slice at a time.
And Utah has possession. After the miss from Joakim Noah. Burks dishes to Thomas. And it will go, and the Bulls' lead is cut down to just 10 points on the bucket from Favors.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
Well, it's become one of the stories of the first half, Clark, just piling up points in the paint.
And he gets it to go. 6 points for Rose.
And he may be the guy to put this game even farther out of reach.
Utah's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Hayward passes to Favors. And that'll be Utah as it goes out of bounds. Jazz retain possession. Quickly, let's check out the league leaders in assists. Derrick Rose, number 1.
You can't ever underestimate how valuable it is, Kevin, to have a guy who can move the ball around on your team and find the open man. Not only can he do it, he wants to do it and does it well.
Here's Garrett. 10 points for him.
And, you know, the rebounding edge here has been key because they're getting a lot of extra possessions offensively as a result.
Guys, you're absolutely right. It's made all the difference. You know, with all of the improvements in medicine and also the advances in rehabilitation after torn ACL surgeries, we've seen a number of players come back to be as good as they were before. Before the injury, Derrick Rose's fans had to be feeling good about what level he would return at when he came back.
Well, back to the ACL repair for Rose. Clark, great to see modern medicine extend players' careers and help them return from those tough injuries. Steve, it's been terrific watching these players come back. Really didn't see Rose last year, certainly. I expect this year he'll be terrific.
Well, it's so great to see Derrick Rose back on the court after missing last season. One of the most explosive, entertaining players in the NBA. A great guy, terrific team leader. The NBA needs Derrick Rose, so fun to have him back. The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
Rush outside. Chicago grabs the miss. Butler's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Detroit, where they'll face the Pistons. That will be the 5th game of the 6-game road trip.
Nobody near him. He'll normally make that one.
Outside Rose. A second chance effort, and it's blocked by Burks. Lucas with it. Here's Cantor. And he overshot that one, missing.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off.
And the first half is now in the books. Bulls out front. They lead by 14. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, I'm alongside Coach Tyrone Corbin. And, Coach, a lot of ground to make up in this second half. What kind of attitude do you need to come out with in the third quarter to give yourselves a chance?
Well, there's no quitting us. We're going to continue to fight, but we got to be a little smart about what we're trying to do. We got to wait for running our offense. Make sure we execute every time down.
Coach, thank you for the time, guys. We'll see if they can execute.
Okay, Doris, thanks. And we'll have the start of the third quarter for you shortly. But first, the halftime show.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
This is Damon Bruce, ready to bring you the halftime report on 2K Sports. Let's go. Chicago with the lead against the Jazz at Energy Solutions Arena. They're off to a hot start this season. They'd like to continue that hot streak in this game. Jimmy Butler certainly contributing with his play. He's got 12 points. He's been getting it done on both ends of the court. Look at the assists. Look at the rebounds. It's all adding up to a great first half. And for the Jazz, they've been struggling a bit. Defensive rebounding, a big problem right now. They just can't control their own backboard. Certainly an impressive start by Gordon Hayward. He's picked up 5 points, and he's had some good court vision, helping out in the assist department as well. Looking at the games that are coming up in the NBA, the Bucks will face off against the Pistons out in Detroit. Some Eastern teams doing battle. A 7:30 Eastern tip time. And one game also on the docket. Over in Indianapolis, the Pacers will face off against the Timberwolves. Each the best their division has to offer. That one gets going at 7 Eastern. And now, a look at the other NBA action. For the Celtics, they'll be up against the Bobcats in Charlotte. The 7 p.m. Eastern tip time is set. And that's all there is for me here in the studio. Time to send you back to my friend Kevin Harlan and the crew for the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started.
Just absolute domination in this one for Butler. 12 points, and he's done a little bit of work behind the arc. He's got a pair of three-pointers.
Well, the defenders have that in the back of their minds now, too, so they're going to close out on him quicker. That should allow him to use the drive if he wants.
Taking a look at the Bulls. At the 3 and 4, Butler and Boozer. Heinrich and Rose, the guards. And it's Noah in at the center position. The Bulls leading by 11. Here's Rose. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
I think when you look at Derrick Rose, fellas, the most intimidating thing about him is his elite speed. But you also have to consider his size. He's well put together, about 6'3", maybe just a shade over 200 pounds. He is a handful when he's coming at you fast with that strong body and explosiveness.
Here is Hayward, guarded by Heinrich. Evans, right side. Fades. Rebound by the Bulls. Noah's got his 8th rebound here tonight. And Clark, you mentioned the size of Derrick Rose. 6'3", not just a speedster, but the combination of quickness and power. I've always thought this. He goes in there, and he would be a very tough guy to try to stop when he's got a full head of steam.
Oh, no question.
Oh, wow.
He's coming at you with that burst and the strength. That's why he's so overpowering as a point guard.
Hayward from outside. Can't get it to go. Nice D from Rose.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today. There's a glaring discrepancy between these teams in that area of the game.
Yeah, that's what's paved the way for them to build this big lead, no question.
Jazz trail by 13. Hayward kicks to Evans. And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
That's his 2nd personal foul. First team foul.
Gordon's checked in for Kirk Heinrich. Just a little over 90 seconds gone in the 3rd quarter. Another miss by Utah.
Still a bit chilly from the field at the start of this 3rd quarter. 1 of 4 so far.
Rose dishes to Boozer. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Rose has got his 4th assist in this one.
You know, when he gets rolling, guys, he can be an absolute handful to have to deal with. And right now, he is rolling strong.
And the Jazz call time here.
You know, Boozer had his name floated around at the trade deadline last season, guys. There were a number of teams that were very interested in having his physicality and scoring ability down low.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Thanks, Kevin. Tom Thibodeau had some words for his team in that last huddle. He was intent on running the offense through Boozer. Coach obviously has a ton of faith in his offensive ability and shared that faith with the rest of the players by insisting they get him more involved. He also told them that he wants to see multiple passes on every possession. He said that was the key to getting the best shot each time down. Those could prove to be crucial changes to their strategy with this game getting ready to enter the stretch drive, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you. And you wonder why Boozer's name would be floated in trade rumors. I mean, one of the top rebounding power forwards in the game can score inside and outside.
Well, I think, Kevin, teams are becoming more and more cap conscious with the new collective bargaining agreement. Boozer is a very highly paid player, so even though he's productive, I think some people are going to look at that contract and maybe shy away from it.
Utah with the ball after the missed 3 from Gordon. Garrett, the pass to Hayward. Pass to Garrett. They set the pick.
Well, the Bulls battled in last year's postseason. Got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round 1 in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round 2.
And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time, and they had questions constantly being asked if he would return, but the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin, and desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal Game 1 in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And now we've got a moment to see how the Jazz are doing ranking-wise, Kevin. 4th in steal, 12th in three-point field goal percentage. And they're in the top half of the league in free throw shooting as well. Pretty good, but they could certainly stand some improvement there.
The key really to me out of all those numbers, Clark, is the steals, because that's become their identity defensively. They're a real ball-hawking team. They like to get out and put pressure on the offense, force mistakes, and when they do that, they're tough to stop in transition.
Now here's Rose. He's got 10 from downtown. Tries again, and the bucket is good. Coming on the layup that time from Noah. Noah's got 12 in the game.
I think the best quality for Noah is the energy that he brings to the game, Kevin. He's got long arms, he can rebound, he can handle the ball, he can make plays, but really it's just the impact he has with his effort and his energy that's most impressive.
But he's so unselfish. I love that about him, and he's a real demon on the backboard. An outstanding offensive rebounder. He's a good passer, too. If he sees an open teammate, he won't hesitate to move the rock. And he's accurate with his passes, too.
Time now for an injury report. Let's get an update on Kirk Heinrich's injury. Let's go over to Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, I spoke with head athletic trainer for the Chicago Bulls. Not what we wanted to hear, guys. It sounds like it's a very serious injury. Most teams would like to get out of the gates with a strong start, and an injury like this one is going to make that a very tough task for this team.
Thanks, Doris. Guys, the only thing you can wish for is that the prognosis isn't quite as bad as they're making it out to be.
Yeah, exactly, Kevin. I don't know, though. I mean, one way or another, it seems to me as though it's going to be a long time before we see him back in uniform.
Yeah, such a shame, because you always hate to hear of any player getting injured, and this one, this does not sound good.
Here's Jefferson. Noah with the block. Now Rose. He's got 10. Here's Butler. A three-pointer off the mark. Jazz trail by 14. Hayward kicks to Garrett. Evans, a screen on Gordon. And there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with the hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you can put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
So Utah ends up going with the new group. Boozer goes up and lays it nice and easy. Boozer's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Whether by design or accident, that was a very high-quality shot they created.
Lucas against Rose. Lucas dishes to Rush, and the pass to Gobert. No good. And the Bulls going the other way now. And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minutes need these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys play too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Gibson comes in for Joakim Noah, and it's Korver in for Jimmy Butler.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies, be physical.
And Gibson with the block, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will take it. And here is our 2K leaderboard with the list of the NBA's toughest defensive teams over the course of the last 10 games. Number 1, the Bulls.
Now, they've been solid defensively, maybe a little fortunate at times when teams have had off nights, but overall, pretty solid defense.
Jazz trail by 18. Cantor, the pass to Gobert. Sinks that one from the post.
Gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
Now here's Rose. He's got 10. Outside Rose, and it's blocked by Gobert. And he recovers it. Outside Gordon. The three, no good. So Utah will take it the other way. Here's Burks. He trains the quick shot. Burks has got his second basket. So it's Chicago now. They led by as many as 18 points. Outside Rose. Outside Gordon. Lets the three fly. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got his 5th assist in this one. For Utah, they've gone a somewhat subpar 4 of 10 on their shots in the second half so far.
Well, you look at Ben Gordon, guys, a pure shooter, clearly. Can spot up, pull up. However he gets his shot off, you expect it to go in.
And the foul called on Ben Gordon. That's foul number 2 for him. And Utah making a change here. Garrett's checked in.
Substitution. Deontay Garrett.
There's 1:54 left to play in the third. Burks kicks to Gobert. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. Burks can't get it to go. And going back to Ben Gordon, Clark, you called him a pure shooter, but he doesn't bring a whole lot else, does he, Steve?
Well, he's limited offensively. You know he can shoot and score, but not really a playmaker. And he's not big enough to post up, and he's not a great defender. But you know what he is. He's a scorer, and I think he's ideally suited to bring off the bench because of that.
And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Bulls.
Well, their passing has been picturesque, a thing of beauty in both halves. More than a few of their baskets have come off assists.
Now, it seems to me that they're taking a lot of pride in their rebounding tonight, especially at the offensive end, guys.
He had a nice open look right there. Rush has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. The Bulls leading by 17. And it's Rose penetrating. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Well, he's clearly feeling it, Clark, coming off that fantastic game last time out.
A different look for Utah. Jeremy Evans comes in for Gobert. And Gordon Haywards is subbed in for Brandon Rush.
While never a lock for the playoffs, the Jazz were in the driver's seat for a playoff spot up until the All-Star break last season. However, after the second half kicked up again, they just couldn't beat the teams they needed to and lost a lot of ground, letting the Lakers back in the hunt.
Now, here's Cantor. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Of course, the Lakers would eventually pass them up during the final days to snag a playoff spot. But, Steve, as you said, it was just a poor run of games for the Jazz right after the All-Star break that did them in.
Well, it would have been nice for this young core to gain some valuable playoff experience, but they did pick up a couple of first-round draft picks. They continue to add talent to this deep roster, and I would think it's just a matter of time before they're back in the playoffs again.
Chicago's gotten 1 of 6 three-pointers to drop since coming out of the locker room at halftime. Boozer dishes to Rose. Boozer kicks to Korver. And it's off from three-point range. Jazz trail by 18. Here's Garrett. He's got 14. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. Garrett's got 6 here in this quarter.
His shooting has been so good today. He may have to take it upon himself to try to get his club out of this hole.
Outside Rose. That will count, and it's blocked. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Bulls lead by 16. And don't go away. We'll be back momentarily.
All right. Yeah. Let's go.
This Friday night, November 29th, Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors take on Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Live from Oklahoma City. Be there.
And a worthy candidate tonight as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game.
And the finish, guys, this is where you know you are right on the money with that pass. Look at that. Perfectly timed.
The Bulls leading by 16. A moment now to reset the lineups, brought to us by Gatorade. All fueled up here for the fourth quarter. And so in the game for the Jazz, they've got Favors, Jefferson out there with Jeremy Evans. And it's Hayward, and it's Garrett in at the 1 spot.
Boy, I tell you, the Bulls showed how resilient they could be without Derrick Rose last season. They played competitive basketball, but up against the Western Conference, they just didn't quite have the same punch. Got beat up pretty good out west.
Here's Garrett. Dishes it to Favors. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. We'll shoot one more at the free throw line. And back to the Bulls against the West. Not sure what exactly their shortcomings were, but in the end, Steve, they were only able to win 11 games out of the 30 they played out of conference.
You know, the Bulls were a team that could win games on grit and toughness, but the West was a lot more talented last year than the East. And so some nights Chicago just kind of ran into reality, and they didn't have enough talent to deal with some of those Western teams.
And the foul goes against Utah.
That foul gives him 4, so he's just 2 away from being Dairy Queen.
Gordon, the pass to Butler, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will take it.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Jazz trail by 15. Here's Garrett. He kicks it to Hayward. It's rebounded by Noah. Noah's got 11 rebounds in the game. To the right side. Butler with the ball. Jefferson picks him up. Korver dishes to Gordon. A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. The feed to Hayward. Kicks it to Favors. 6 on the shot clock. To the middle. Here's Evans, and the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. The Bulls leading by 15. Gordon kicks to Butler. Feeds to Gibson. Makes it off the glass.
They've built this lead through plays exactly like that. He's easily been their most consistent performer.
Well, he's been splashing everything today.
Here's Garrett. Inside to Favors. It's hauled in by Noah. Noah's got 12 rebounds here tonight. Big time effort. Butler passes to Gordon. He feeds it to Gibson. Connects on the 17-footer. Gibson's got 10 points here in the second half.
And assists like that have typified their effort today. Great ball movement.
Really an example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
And he gets it to go.
That is a terrific effort on the shot. He's giving up a lot of size, but still finds a way to score.
I don't think that affected him in the least, though, Steve. I mean, he made it look like he was the bigger guy.
Left side, Butler. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And that one misses. And the Bulls making a change here. Rose is checked in. And the second free throw, good. Jazz trail by 18. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. Jefferson with it. Butler covering. Here's Garrett. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down. He is capable, Clark, of some incredible athleticism.
And we just got a chance to see it on full display right there.
Well, you got to love a point guard who can finish like a power forward.
The Bulls leading by 16. Outside Rose. Can't get it to go. Excellent D that time from Garrett. For Utah, they've gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. And Hayward gets it to go.
Their three-point percentage has taken a big leap up since the start of the second half. They're starting to find the range.
Steve, the lasers are starting to do their thing. That's going to be the ticket for them the rest of the way.
Here is Korver. Here's Rose. And he uses the glass on the layup. And the Bulls lead by 15.
Virtually uncontested. It's nice to be able to add to the lead without really having to work for it.
Outside Jefferson. Noah against Favors. And there it is again. Nice make there from Garrett. Garrett's got 22 points.
He's been a bright spot for them. He's had an incredibly efficient offensive performance.
Steve, his shooting really has been just terrific. They'd be much worse off if it weren't for him, that's for sure.
Jazz have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Hayward dishes to Garrett. Jefferson against Butler. Shot from 16. Jump shot is good. Hayward's got 5 points now this quarter.
And his confidence has come back since halftime after really a rough first 2 quarters.
Rose goes in. Over Favors. Another shot. Nice D from Favors. And it's Utah's ball. They're on an 11-3 run. And Garrett kicks to Evans. Out to the right wing. Here's Garrett. He's covered by Rose. And it will go, and the Bulls' lead is cut to just 9 on the basket from Garrett.
Well, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
Rose passes to Korver. Here's Gibson on the mark with the 15-footer. Gibson's got 20 points.
Something they'd like to see more of him more often, that's for sure.
Jazz have gone 7 of 9 from the field down the stretch here in the fourth quarter. Terrific shooting. The dish to Hayward. Great defense that time from Noah.
Great close out there, forcing the errant shot.
Well, he made it a tough shot again. He didn't give up on it, and he got a hand up.
Right side Rose. Back to Butler. Takes a 3. Rebound by Hayward. Hayward's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Hayward off the pick from Favors. And out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession. Here's a look at what's coming up for the Utah Jazz. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. The Bulls leading by 11. Rose goes in. Can't get it to go. Jefferson with some nice D. The Jazz shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. Lets it go with a 3. Another miss by Utah.
Kind of rare to see him come up empty on a wide open look.
And Jefferson sends it back. Fast break, here come the Jazz. Here's Hayward. Great pass to set up the lay-in. Hayward's got it back down to single digits for the Jazz. Outside Rose, into Noah. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. 14 points for Joakim Noah.
His shooting's been outstanding. Definitely one of the reasons his team is up in this game.
Utah calls timeout.
Well, you got to put a body on your man when the shot goes up. That's just fundamental basketball. They're giving up way too many offensive rebounds.
Bulls making a switch here. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Hey guys, well Tyrone Corbin had some advice for the team in that last huddle. He didn't exactly take it easy on them, saying, how much do you want it? Don't tell me, show me out there. We have to play better. We have to play harder if we're going to come back. Guys?
Jazz trail by 11. Here's Garrett. Pass to Evans. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
Yeah, the defender draped all over him.
Pretty plain and simple. Got him good there.
Boy, it seems like they're having a lot of trouble at the line today, and it's just been that kind of a day.
That one misses.
And pretty much how this game has gone. They've controlled the boards and looked to come away with the win right here.
And Clark, as you were saying before, they're controlling the inside presence, just overwhelming here today.
And I really thought that was the deciding factor, Kevin. I mean, they were just too strong inside.
Shoots the three. The Bulls keep it alive.
Multiple possessions have been the story of the game, and even with the big lead, this team continues to be quicker to the ball.
That one goes. Count it. 17 points for Rose.
Had so much space there, and the defense really not showing him the respect. You can see his eyes get wide.
Here's Garrett. He's covered by Rose and favors kicks to Evans. It's rebounded by Noah.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes.
Outside Rose. Butler goes in. Lock at 6. Snell. No good on the triple. Jazz trail by 13. 1:11 left in the fourth quarter. And Garrett kicks to Jefferson. Right wing. Here's Garrett, defended by Butler. And out of bounds as Chicago gains possession.
And so only one team answered the bell tonight. Not a monster blowout by any means, but still a double-digit victory for the Bulls.
They made more foul shots, and that was the difference.
And that was a huge advantage. The free throw game, always a significant barometer in terms of who wins and loses.
And so that moves their record to 11 wins on the year.
And because they play in different conferences, guys, this is the last time these two teams will face each other. It's got to be a good feeling to getting the clean sweep, finishing the season 2-0 against the Jazz.
Depth always a factor in wins like this, and what an incredible game out of nowhere it was for Derrick Rose. Every time there was a big possession or big play, he was contributing in some manner. Just a great game for him.
Utah has gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Now, here's Burks, defended by Gibson. And the shot is good.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if it results in that shot.
Chicago has gone 0 of 3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Gibson setting the pick for Rose. Shot off the pick. A rebound by the Jazz.
Yeah, no excuses there. Got a really good look at the basket after being freed up by the pick.
We say it all the time. The execution was excellent. The result not as good, but good ball movement anyway.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. How much to be critical of with this win, Clark?
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
And now we send you down to Doris Burke courtside, who's with our Jordan Player of the Game. Doris?
Derek, tremendous work on the glass tonight. How important is that aspect of the game to this team?
It's huge. That's all Tiff talked about, second rebounding. We crash the boards, our bigs are big at it, and when we pass it back out, we usually got the three-pointer, so it's easy basketball.
Derek, thank you so much. Guys, hard to run if you don't rebound the ball.
Thank you, Doris. And, folks, that about concludes our broadcast tonight. For Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching as we leave you with our Jordan Player of the Game, Derrick Rose.